leg bones, right? The upper bone is your femur, big bone. And then in anatomical position, your lower leg, there's two bones. The lateral bone in your lower leg is the fibula. The medial bone in your lower leg is the bigger one, that's the tibia. Okay? So let's talk about the femur for a second. Let's talk about the femur for a second. That's the head of the femur, right? The big ball. That's the head of the femur. Below that is the neck. Okay? Then you have these two masses of bone here. These are only found on the femur. These are the trochanters. The bigger one is the greater trochanter. The little one is the lesser trochanter. Okay? The linea aspera, if you turn the bone around on the back, you see this line right here, this ridge. That's the linea aspera on the back of the femur. Okay? And then we need to know the condyles. Well, condyles. What are condyles? Rounded projections at the end of the bone, right? Well, we know if this is going to articulate with the hip, and we know the aspera is on the back of the bone, this would have to be a left femur, right? Which would make this the lateral condyle, and this the medial condyle, right? And then that would make this the lateral epicondyle, and this would be the medial epicondyle. Okay? This groove in between, that's the patellar groove, that's where your kneecap is going to sit. And then on the back here, this big fossa in between the condyles, that's the intercondylar fossa. Okay? All right. And then we go to the lower leg. We'll talk about a tibia first. Tibia is the big bone. This is your shin bone, right? Nice ridge right there where you don't have much meat. That's the shin bone. Okay? The tibia is the medial bone of your lower leg. And on the bottom of the tibia, you see this big projection down here on the bottom of the tibia, that big process right there? That's called the medial malleolus. So the tibia is the medial bone, and that projection on the end is the medial malleolus. That's your inside ankle bone. So if this is the medial bone of your lower leg, and this is your inside ankle bone, is this a right or a left? This has to be a right. Right? How else would that work? That's my inside ankle bone right there. Okay, so this is a right tibia. Okay? The condyles are up here. This would be then the medial, right? Because this is the medial malleolus. This is the medial side. This is the medial condyle. This is the lateral condyle. Okay? That's what we need to know here. Tibial tuberosity you don't have to worry about. Down here at the bottom, again, this is the medial malleolus. On the opposite side, you have this nice smooth notch here, which means another bone is going to articulate right here. So this would be the fibular notch, because the fibia is going to lay right up against there. Okay, so that's the fibular notch, the medial malleolus. Okay, and the intercondylar eminence are just these bumps between the condyles up here. Okay, all right. And then the fibula. The fibula is the smaller bone of your lower leg. The more rounded part is the head. The more flattened part down here, this is the lateral malleolus. This is your outside ankle bone. Okay? And on the opposite side from that, you see you have this nice smooth surface right there, which means something's going to articulate there. Another bone, which would be the tibia. Okay? So this would have to be a left fibula, right? This is the lateral malleolus, and there's the notch for the tibia on the opposite side. Okay? This is a left fibula. And you can see how they fit together nice right here. Okay? So this is the medial malleolus, that's the lateral malleolus. And this is the fibular notch on the tibia, and the tibial notch on the fibula. Okay? Okay, and then we have the tarsals and the metatarsals. Okay. A foot, the bones of the foot. Okay? This bone right on the top that articulates with the tibia and the fibula, that's called a talus. And I just want you to recognize the talus. It has all these articular surfaces on it where it articulates with all those bones, right? Just recognize the talus. Okay? Kind of an irregular shaped nub. Okay? This bone back here, this is your heel bone. This is called the calcaneus. The calcaneus. That's your heel. Okay? And we have a, oh, you have one. Okay, the calcaneus. If we set the calcaneus down, where it hits the ground, right, this bottom part, that's the tuberosity. Okay? That's the calcaneal tuberosity. where it hits the ground. Then you have this other part here, this part that kind of sticks out on the side. That's on the medial side. That's called the tally. That always points to the medial side. So this would have to be a left calcaneus, a left heel bone. Okay? And that one would be, set that one up right. No, that's another left. You have two lefts. Okay? And then in terms of the rest of the bones of the foot, these are the tarsals, these are the metatarsals, and these are the phalanges. Okay? So talus, calcaneus, tarsals, metatarsals, phalanges. All right?